Hello, everyone, and welcome to Demo Day for CS8. Today, we've got 9 very cool projects to show you videos about, and then we'll open it up for a minute or two for questions for each of the teams. We are going to have to be quick with the questions because we've got 2 to 3 minute videos for 9 groups, and about an hour to get through all of this. So we're programmers. Hopefully, we can do that math and realize that we got to keep the pace going. So to start off, I do want to say some thank yous. I want to thank, well, first I want to introduce myself. I am Brian. This is my first stint directing the labs program, so I am really happy with how all of the projects have gone. I'm really proud with the results, and I hope everyone watching this will not only look at the videos, but we'll look at the actual applications online and give us some feedback, give us some suggestions. We're still doing a little bit more finalization on them, but we've got some neat stuff for you. I also want to thank, in particular, Bree for all of the hard work that she has done helping the teams with the presentation and UI UX of the applications. I think that the impact on that is pretty clear, and you'll see it when you watch the videos. And I want to thank all of the instructors at Lambda for putting together such great resources for me to work with for the last 4 weeks. I want to thank the PMs, John and Steve and Michael and Boomer, for your great work working with the teams and getting that. And then last of all, of course, I want to thank the teams themselves. Everyone did a fantastic job being professional, working hard, communicating, all of the things that our new teams for CS9 are learning this week. I was really happy to see the bumps and bruises that you all got in the beginning and how you came together and learned to work as a team, learned to communicate and march together and make some really cool stuff. So that being said, let's jump in, and I will share my screen and I will play our first video. Uh-oh, it looks like, are we capped at 100 people? So we've got the max. Awesome. This is the first time I've ever been in a max capacity Zoom, so sweet. Sorry for everyone who can't make it, but it will be recorded, so you can watch it later. Here we go. Here is my screen and my audio, hopefully.
What would life be like if you could manage your properties in a streamlined fashion from any location, with access to every tool you need to cover your management needs? What if there was an interface that bridged the communicative canyon that exists between property managers and tenants? Introducing Property Max, a web application where you can manage properties, add new tenants and view their submitted work orders, and get paid directly through Stripe, the app's payment processor. Property Max lets you perform all the essential tasks needed to help your properties earn you income in a seamless, easy-to-use application you can access on a desktop, tablet, or your smartphone. Property Max is designed to give the property manager the one and only solution they'll ever need. Tenants who are signed up via the app will love its ease of use as they gain access to an intuitive interface where they can easily pay rent, submit work orders, and contact management. Tenants can upload pictures of their documented maintenance issue, which is submitted with the work order. They can also view their outstanding balance, set up recurring payments, and review the payment history, all within the hub of their specially designed tenant dashboard. See what Property Max has to offer you today.
All righty. So this is our first project. The team, I think, is here. Does anyone have any questions for our team? And I will read them out here. What's the stack? So everyone on the team, you should be able to unmute yourself, and hopefully when you start talking, the video will focus on you. If not, I will find you and pin you. So let's hear it.
Hi, I'm Bon. So our stack that we used for property max, we used React for the front end, Express to communicate with the node, and we used, instead of a typical MongoDB, we used Amazon Services DynamoDB to host our webcam, to host our server.
Yeah, webcam's on, friends. Don't be shy. Let the world see your pretty faces. Look how excited Moises is. Thank you, Bon. Any other questions? What was the hardest part about this project? And another question, how was working with Dynamo versus Mongo? Let's get answers for those two and then move on to the next group. So who, someone else from the group. Andy, you want to field one of those questions? Anyone? Come on, don't be shy. This is your chance to bask in the glory of what you've done. Bon, do you want to answer this?
Sure. So going top down, what was the hardest part about this project? The hardest part about this project, I had to say, was getting everything organized and learning the different new technologies that we picked up for this project that we accepted. So before this, none of us had ever worked with Stripe for payment processing. Three of us had never touched Amazon Web Services at all, and we had used not only DynamoDB for our backend database, but we used Amazon Web Services, AWS's Cognito, to handle our authentication through the website as well. And that was a huge hurdle for us, which took us, I'm pretty sure, like, if you look at our GitHubs, you're going to see, like, the beginning of the first 2 weeks are just nothing, no commits. But at the end of the week, it's like you'll have 20, 30 commits from each of us, because we finally, that really shows us that at the beginning, we were just kind of learning, reading, playing around. And at the end, we were implementing. And I was really proud of that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Bon. Sorry for the other questions, but let's go ahead and move on. I want to make sure that we get through all of these in the time allotted, because I've got some celebrating and partying to do with the teams afterwards, and I don't want to be late for that. And I'm sure you also have some things to do that are important. All right, let's go right on to our next video.
In today's competitive job market, a lot is asked of job seekers. Not only are more and more applications necessary, but the hiring process includes more and more steps, and you, the job seeker, don't want to look unprepared by forgetting the details of each interaction. This is where Quilly comes in. Quilly is the job application tracker that makes it simple to keep track of every detail of every application in a user-friendly, drag-and-drop interface. From putting the job on your wish list to scheduling an interview to receiving an offer, track your application through every step of the process. Make a contact at a prospective employer? Attach that information directly to an application card for easy viewing. Can't remember if you followed up on an application? Just check the notes to see who you talked to and what you talked about. Make sure that you track every detail of every job you apply for and have that information at the tip of your fingers whenever you need it. It would be nice if every job search started and ended with the same application, but the reality is many job seekers apply to over 100 jobs before receiving an offer, and nothing is worse than blowing a promising lead because you mixed up the details of the job. Never slip up again and have all the information you need organized neatly with Quilly. And it's not just applications that you can track. You can also keep track of meetups you've attended and community contributions that you've made, like blog posts and videos. Anything that will help your chances of landing that dream gig. Finding a job is hard work with little room for error. Let Quilly take care of the details and make sure that you get the job you've always dreamed of. Quilly, make every application count. In today's competitive job market.
Alrighty. That was an interesting video that YouTube picks next. So, team, let's hear from you. Let's get some questions. Yeah, we will share out Austin, if I can provide, I will provide you a document with the links to the applications themselves. They should, most of them, be viewable online. If people are specifically interested, we can certainly connect them with GitHub repos so they can take a look at the code if that's the appropriate thing to have happen. Brian, click autoplay off in YouTube in the upper right corner and my life will be instantly better. I will do that. Where is, there we go. Thank you, Beej. So we've got some questions. Moises wants to know what you all use for the drag and drop. Does someone want to unmute themselves and talk about that? Maybe I should have gotten the randomizer ready to pick names for this.
So for,
oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, you go.
Okay, so for the drag and drop, we used a NPM package called React Trello. Was that what you guys were talking about for the job board?
Yeah, someone had asked what you use for drag and drop. And Kia, do you want to answer something too, since you're on? What was the motivation behind this project? Well, I'll actually answer that one. So for all of these teams, we provide designs and wireframes for them for the applications that they're going to build. So the motivation behind this one was that we are very familiar with the job search and of course are interested in helping our students. So we thought it would be interesting to explore creating an application for that. Thomas Dillard wants to know what the hardest part is. Maybe Kia, why don't you tell us what you think the hardest part of this was?
I think everything was like equally difficult. One of them was like a lot of communication with our team because we didn't really have like a team leader or anything in our group. So like whatever we worked on, we really needed to do a lot of communication. And also like Stripe, as Vaughn mentioned before. It was something we never worked with, so it was, I thought Stripe was kind of difficult too.
Okay, awesome, thank you. We can do one last question real quick.
I'm just kind of curious what their models look like, if it was all in one model, or if there was like several models for each like part of the tracking.
Kevin, you want to reply or should I just, okay.
Either way.
You go.
Okay. So I guess for the models, we had separated it out. So the user model was like the biggest one that dealt with mostly Stripe, and then we implemented, Josh had implemented the resumes in there. And then I think we had models for each of like the meetup and the contribution for basically for each page. If we had like one huge model, it would just make everything really hard to work with, especially when we were creating we're integrating the front end and the back end. That just would have been really confusing. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
All right.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so let's move on to the next group and let's look at the randomizer. Okie dokie. We will get back to my screen.
Life for professional educators today isn't easy, and sometimes it can feel impossible to manage. We here at Randomizer recognize that despite the many obstacles, your work as an educator is extremely valuable, and to that end, we want to help. Welcome to Randomizer, an app designed to take the stress and anxiety out of managing your classroom participation. Getting started is easy. Once you've logged in, a single click will take you to the Create Class page. Enter your class name, select your dashboard preferences, and add your students. Remember, you can always add your students even faster by importing a CSV file. Click Submit and voila! You now have your first randomizer class, which you can view here on the class list page. At any time, if you wish to return to your classes, just click on the menu at the top left of your screen and navigate to Classes. While you are there, check out our latest subscription rates under Billing, or update your user information in Settings. Now, let's get randomizing. Click on your class to navigate to the randomizer page. Click on the Randomize button to queue up your first student. Notice a real-time participation percentage update each time a new student participates. Randomizer gives you the organization and control you need with options like Toggle All Go. When clicked to On, Randomizer will call on each of your students once before being reset. Each time a student is called on, Randomizer will recalculate your overall class participation rate and provide a countdown to the number of students left who have not yet participated. At any point, you can click the Edit button to change your preferences, update your class name, or add new students. You can remove students from your students list by simply clicking on the X to the left of their name. We hope you have enjoyed learning about our new app Randomizer and look forward to making your job as an educator just a little bit easier and a whole lot more fun. Thank you all from all of us on the Randomizer team.
Alrighty. Thank you all for making that. And I even used that for the first time a couple of days ago, and I was very happy. It worked quite well. And if any Lambda instructors are interested in using this for their classroom activities, let me know and I'll see if I can hook you up with a pro version. All right, we've got a couple of questions here. The logo is awesome. Did they design the UI? Yes, I'll answer that. Yeah, they designed the UI working with Bree. Moises wants to know, how did you separate classes for each user? And did you allow students to be shared across classes? Does someone want to field that question? Do I need to use your own tool against you to pick someone to answer this for us? Because I'll do it.
No. So like initially that was like a thing that we had to think a lot about. Because initially, like how we were starting it with our MongoDB like models and classes, whatever prior, was that we had each like the students, the classes, and the users as their own individual like thing, and they all had a relationship with like the students had users, which had classes, which had like students, which had just like in like a weird like circle of like information, and then like decided that it'd be make way more sense to layer it so it's like users have classes that have students, and so like after we like figured that out, it made a lot of the rest of the app and like decisions easier.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Brett. And Austin says he'll pay for it. So it looks like we've got some customers. We'll see what we can do about a enterprise setup for this. I can do one other question. Eddie wants to know, is there an additional feature that you would love to implement, but you could not because of limited time? Someone want to answer that?
Well, actually, we implemented a lot more since making the video. So unfortunately, a lot of what is probably like the cool features that were part of the MVP, like having a graph that shows the percentage who had like your participation percentage per day on a graph, and it shows. So you've got I have it up here. Do you mind if I share my screen for like just a short?
We'll have to do that later because we got to keep moving.
But, yeah,
but I will share out all the links. These are online, so if you want to check it out, everyone will have the ability to do that after this meeting. Next up, let's take a look at the trivializer.
Are you planning to host a bar trivia night? Or maybe a smaller trivia game with your friends? Don't want to sort through tons of questions yourself? Try out Trivializer. Trivializer lets you organize your event into games and rounds so that you can have the perfect trivia night. Name your games and rounds and set the date that it will be played. You can select questions by difficulty and category, or simply give us a number of questions and we'll do the rest. When everything is set, you can save or print formatted trivia sheets for the host and players, made especially for your game. A free account lets you create one game at a time. If you have a bigger event planned, try out one of our paid tiers so that you can create the number of games that you need. Simply get it and forget it. No subscription required. Trivializer. Good trivia, fast.
Alrighty. Let's get some questions about the Trivializer. Anyone? I've got a question. Someone tell me how many categories. Oh, there we go. Moises has a great question. Moises, you might end up on one of our capstone panels. I look forward to that. Beej likes it. He used to play pub trivia a good amount. How do the questions get pulled in? Where do the questions come from? Does someone want to tell us about that?
Yeah, hey, this is Harrison. We get those questions from a trivia database that's like totally open source that anybody can contribute to. They have their own API that we use to pull it into our program.
And Chris asks, what are the categories?
There's 26 or 27 categories. They range from like general knowledge to science. There's a bunch of specific ones on there.
All right, awesome. Is there plans for a mobile app for answering a la Jackbox TV? Not with this one, Ty. The goal for this one is for live trivia to ease the setup. For if anyone knows someone who has actually done that, it takes a huge amount of work to research the questions and get them set up. So this is intended to ease that. And yes, users are able to create their own questions if they want to replace one with their own. Okay, let's move on to the next one and let's take a look at Hair School.
Hello and welcome to Lambda Hair School, a web application used to schedule appointments and give feedback to your favorite student hairstylist. Here you can sign up for an account and sign in to schedule an appointment. Once you're logged in to your account, you'll be greeted and you'll have access to schedule an appointment. As a teacher or facilitator at Lambda Hair School, you can log in to your admin account. You can view scheduled appointments by month, week, day, or list. In Month View, you have the ability to drag and drop appointments to different days or parts of the week. Once you've had your appointment with Lambda School, you can log back in and give ratings to your favorite student stylist. As a Lambda Hair School student stylist or facilitator, you can log in with your admin account and view all of your feedback. Lastly, our billing page allows our users to securely save their billing information and pay for their services with Stripe. Technologies involved in building our front-end application are JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React, React Router, and Bootstrap. Technologies involved in building our back-end application are Python and Django, Netlify Heroku, the Stripe API for payment processing, SQLite, and Axios. Thank you for watching. This is Lambda Hair School.
All righty, thank you. Moises with a question again. Anyone else have some questions? If not, thank you, Moises, for filling these gaps because I greatly appreciate it. Mitchell's happy about the Django backend. I was too. I thought that was awesome. Austin wants to know why we chose Django. Does someone want to jump in and talk about that decision-making process? Come on, someone.
I'll go. We chose Django and SQLite because we liked that it was fast and able to already built-in database and SQLite, sorry, and Tiffany and Nora did a good job of implementing the boilerplate that was already there. So it was easy to set up and get connected to have the server already up and running for us. And so it was like a, and also we wanted to expand like in our skills in Django and wanted to utilize it.
Okay, and then Tom asked, since you use SQLite, is this app going to be scalable and can you change over to different databases easily? I don't think changing over to a different database is ever easy, but I think it should be doable. Django gives you some flexibility with that.
Yeah, I do think it would be doable to switch over.
And Hedger asks, how are you able to integrate the calendar?
Yeah, so we have two calendars. We have the front end one that we use on the client side to get the input of the users, and we have the one that displays the appointments on the back end. So on the front end calendar, we use something called an Infinity calendar, and it's a React component, and it allows you to have like infinity scroll to choose appointments, and we pretty much just connected it to the back end calendar with like Axios calls, and the full calendar had its own API on the back end to connect to. So we passed props through that.
Right, excellent. Thank you very much. And thank you for more questions. Next up, let's take a look at iShifter.
Introducing iShifter, a new and improved way to schedule and manage your employees' shifts. We built the project using React, Node, Express, and Mongo. iShifter simplifies your scheduling tasks by managing employees' time off and availability. Once you're done glancing over the amazing design and key features, let's begin by signing in to start scheduling your employees. Welcome to your dashboard. From here, you can make your selections. As you can see, we already have a few employees. Now let's go add another. Fill in this form with your employee's information. Once done, click Add Employee. Now let's create a schedule for that employee. Here we can fill in the data and time for your employee's schedule. Once it's complete, click the Generate Schedule button. Success! Now you can view your schedule in the calendar section. You can pay for access in our billing section, as well as change your password in the settings section. Employees are able to view their schedule when they log in with their credentials given to them from their employers. Employees can view their assigned shifts, requested time off, and submit time off. The settings section is the same as the employers, giving the employees the ability to change their passwords. iShifter, where scheduling is made easy.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Gil likes the name and design. I do too. Very well done. Someone want to, speaking of the design, talk a little bit about that blue color and the changes we had to make with it. That was one thing that I remember from this.
Hi, yes, we had to make it 508 compliant, like through accessibility with different visual impairments. So yeah, that was pretty fun.
All right, thank you. There's that button. Other questions? Totally beats the interface that they had at Pizza Hut years ago, Beej. I'm sure it does. I hope so. Moises asked, was it difficult to set up relationships for users and schedules versus owners and users? Someone want to field that one?
Yeah, so it was difficult the first time because so we have to contact between many models, so too many models. So we have the schedule model, and we have the employee and the employer model. All of them are connected to each other. So the employer has the employees list, and then the employer has the schedule list, and we have to filter the schedules and give each employee only the schedule that is working for them. So it was a little bit tricky, but yeah, we work on that. We were able to do it.
And then thank you, Ajmal. And then Gil has some questions. Can employees swap shifts, and can this handle multiple locations for one business?
So that was a feature that we wanted to work on, but because of the time limitation, we were not able to do that. But that is something we have to, because of the drag and drop features that we were not able to implement. So when for employee can do that, employee can just drag an employee from the calendar section and drop it in another day, and that will update the backend as well. But it is not handling the different location for now. But that's a good thing to work on.
So we've got some features to add, and then we're going to get pitched to Walt Disney World. That sounds good to me. And then one last question. If the employee has schedule preferences like they can't work nights, does the app have a feature to handle that?
No, not something like that. But yeah, these are all things like we were because of we changed from Django to Node.js in the middle, actually in the first week. So that was that took a little bit of our time. We were not able to implement all of the features that we wanted.
But we will soon. So that's, yeah. That's always the answer. Is it doesn't do that yet.
Yeah.
All righty, great. Thank you very much. Next up, we have the Backwoods Tracker. This is an app designed to make sure our instructor Beej doesn't get lost on us when he is off doing adventures. So without further ado, let's take a look at that video.
Our application is called Backwoods. The key functionality is the ability to create trips by placing markers on a map, then saving those trips and sending them to your friends and family so they can check to see if you've arrived at your destination safe and on time. Once you sign in, you can create a trip by pressing the big blue Add a Trip button. You name the trip, add in a start date and end date, then press Add to begin adding markers on the map. In the marker dialog, you'll name each marker, set an ETA date and time, then click on the map to place the actual marker. Once all of that is done, you can press Save Location and it'll get saved to the trip. Continue to do that for all of the markers you want on your trip. If you make a mistake, you can click the Remove button and it'll delete the selected marker. When you're done creating your trip, click Save Trip at the top right and it'll save your trip into our database. From here, you'll be redirected to the trip view so you can see a list of all your trips. You can click on a trip to view a map of that trip with its markers and ETAs, or you can click on the Archive button on each trip to send it to your trip archive. In the archived view, you can see any of your archived trips or a message that shows that there aren't any archived trips. In the billing view, you can enter your payment info and give us your money via a subscription. In Account, you can change your password if you ever need to. An important feature in Backwoods is that you're able to share your trip with anyone that you'd like to. You can do that by sending the URL with your email address in it, and then someone who's not logged in will see the trip and all the points, but they won't have the ability to create a trip or didn't do any of the other actions that require authorization. In case you make a mistake, there are error pages, in case you enter a bad URL, or the user you're looking at hasn't saved any trips yet. Since we were given a very short time frame, only a month, we needed something that could get up and running and iterate quickly. Since the user interface and experience was very important in this project, and since we had a lot of dynamic content that would get changed frequently, like markers on a map, coordinates, ETAs, React seemed like a great fit. Node paired with it makes it easy to leverage tools like Create React App, and with that we'd be able to work very efficiently and have a product ready for the client as soon as possible. Our data is very relational. There's users that have trips, and trips have markers, and markers have coordinates and X and Y values for the map, and so we figured that MongoDB or another NoSQL solution wouldn't work for us. We went with Postgres for our database and SQLize as an ORM to get up and running, and things have been pretty smooth sailing ever since on the back end. On the front end, we're using React, of course, with React Router to handle client-side rendering so the user has a seamless single-page experience. We also decided that it would be extremely beneficial if we could use some sort of front-end framework to help build our interface instead of coding every single component from scratch. Since we're using the Google Maps API, it seemed to make sense to leverage Google's Material UI to create components and follow a theme on the front end as well, creating a much more comprehensive feel for the user. Similar to every other group, we used Trello and GitHub issues to keep track of our team and make sure everyone was assigned tasks and had things to do every day. We'd also have regular pair or group programming sessions, stand-ups once or twice per day to discuss progress, blockers, and accomplishments, and code reviews on every pull request. Thanks for watching, and remember to wander safely.
Alrighty. So let's get some questions. Brian, anyone who is in the woods for anything could use it to track where they are and where they're going. And it was inspired by Beej. He told us that he was taking a motorcycle trip and would be in and out of cell phone service for a while. And I was thinking of a way that we could help keep him safe. Heston asked, what about functionality without cell service? So I can answer that one. The design of the app is so that you place the markers on places that you know you'll be able to check in at. And so you will, so you're expected to show up and check in at a time where you'll have cell service. Someone on the team want to enter. What was the most difficult part working with the Google Map API, asking for a friend? Does one of you want to handle that question for us?
Yeah, sure, I can handle it.
All right.
So the hardest part was there's about 3 or 4 NPM packages that leverage the Google API for React or a wrapper for it. And all the names are very similar. So you have React Google Map, React Map Google, Google Maps React, and the list goes on and on. So when you search for one of them, you'll get a lot of, like Stack Overflow questions, but it's for a different package, and you didn't see the S in Maps is not in your package. So that was really confusing, having to deal with that. And then beyond that, some of them, like React Google Maps, takes over all the rendering on top of the map, and you're basically rendering React components on top of a map that you don't actually have access to the API. And then some of them just let you have all the Google API, but React can't mess with it. So like having events bubble up from the API is a bit tougher that way. So it was, I think we switched our NPM package at least once or twice. So trying to find the right one. And I think that if this was a commercial piece of software, you would actually have to write your own wrapper to get all the functionality that you wanted, because all of them are incomplete in one way or the other.
All right, thank you for that great answer. Edward asks, what about the date picker? How did you implement that?
Date picker is Material UI Picker. It's a NPM package. So Material UI was our UI framework, and then they have add-ons. Material UI Pickers was one, and then we used React Material UI form validators for the date and time validation in each of those pickers.
All right, and Heston has a really good suggestion that someone should write down, please, that we should crowdsource to confirm cell reception spots on the trail and add that information to the application. So let's talk about that next week. Okay, thank you very much. Let's jump into our next group. Oops.
Using a skill.
Sorry about
Hello, and welcome to Recruit, a new app that connects employers with job seekers using a skill-based search and a like and match interface. I'll start by logging in as an employer. The first thing I see is a potential candidate for the job that I've posted. The job is a front-end engineer position paying $80K. The top skills desired are React, MongoDB, Node, Express, and JavaScript. Recruit uses these skills to find potential candidates who are right for the job. You can like, super like, oh, I'm out of credits. So I'll head on over to billing, I'll put in my credit card number, as well as my expiration date, the CVC code, and the postal code. I'll pay for 100 credits. Our credits have incremented and we're ready to keep liking. Liking a candidate opens you up for a match. Super liking bypasses the system and heads straight to first contact. So if they've liked you back, or if you started off by super liking them, you can head on over to Matches, find their profile, and send them a message. In this case, we've super liked Roman, so we can reach out immediately. We can say hi, nice resume. Posting a job is easy. We'll post one for a web engineer for 100K. We'll put some top skills here in this field. The top skills are used to determine the potential candidates. The description is also required, but it's only for the job seeker's information as they're searching. Now I'll log in as a job seeker. The first thing I see is a list of jobs that are compatible with my skill set. Like, super like, and skip are the same as on the other side of the app, and so is messaging and matching. Additionally, there's a feature for archiving. This way, you can clear the jobs that you no longer wish to see. Changing your profile is fun and easy. Here I'm changing my profile pic, but I can also change my desired title, my top skills, my summary, even my password. And that's the app. Thanks for watching. Please give it a try and let us know what you think.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Tinder for employers' employment. That's the general idea that we're looking for here. Let's get some questions for the team. Jorge asks, does the app deal with resumes? Does someone on the team want to answer that for us?
Yeah, I can jump in on that.
Okay.
Subjigger.
Yeah, Kevin, go ahead.
We don't currently deal with the resumes. What you would do when you sign up as a job seeker was you would put in the information you would normally put on your resume. That's something we're looking at implementing a bit later on, is an automatic upload for the resume to kind of like pull your information from it, but we didn't actually get to that during the time period we were on the project.
Any integration with LinkedIn profiles? Gil asks.
Not yet. So we haven't done anything yet.
Not yet is a fantastic answer. I love that answer. It's something we'll look into.
No integration yet. Okay, yep.
All right. I've got time for one last question, and then we'll move on to what I believe is our last group, unless I have failed at counting, which, as those of you who know me know that that happens from time to time. Okay, I see no more questions. Let's go ahead and go on to Give Me My Money.
Since the dawn of time, humans have always had a form of equal exchange.
Wait, hold on. Let's skip to the here and now. Today we have Give Me My Money. Give Me My Money is a subscription-based application that allows admins to upload invoices and set automatic email and SMS messages to be sent to their client. The client can click the link within the email or the SMS message and be directed to a page where they can easily and without barriers make a required payment to the admin.
Whether you're a freelancer or just someone that needs their money, Give Me My Money is the app for you. Get your money today.
All right, if you have ever done freelance work and you've had trouble getting your clients to pay you, this is the application for you because it will do the annoying part automatically. So let's get some questions. We've got about 5 minutes left. Anthony likes the beat. Leanne likes the video.
Well, I made the beat, so thank you.
Ty asks, can you personalize a message and add an itemized bill?
Actually, you can personalize the message. There's a text area where you can send a customized message. And as far as if you need to edit anything, as far as the amount, or let's just say you're sending it to the wrong email, you can go in and adjust as you need to.
All right, awesome, thank you. Austin asks, once a client makes a payment, do the messages stop being sent?
Once the client receives an email, they click on the link, they make their payment, the payment goes directly to the admin, the person that the money gets owed to, and then those reminders get deleted out of the system, so it stops sending those reminders to the client.
All right, and Gil asks, what costs do you incur for processing the payments? Who covers that? Did you use Stripe or something else?
We did use Stripe. It is 30 cents plus 2.9%. We take out 5% off the total amount. So the admin gets 95% of whatever the invoice was.
Gil wants to know if we get burned if there are refunds. I want to know that too. We probably need to look into that in detail.
We haven't actually.
It's something that we're working on.
Okay, good to know. Eddie wants to know what banks work with this site. Can you use PayPal?
Definitely something that we're going to integrate.
Good answer.
Right now, this is through Stripe and credit card.
All right. AJ, you're breaking up a little bit, but I can answer that as well. Right now, it's through Stripe and credit card. So if you have the PayPal credit card, you can certainly use it. Edward wants to know if we've implemented a mobile version of this, and I am interested in an update on that as well.
It's in the works.
Okay. Great answer. We've got time for one last question. Yeah, they're working on a React Native app.
He says shush.
Any last questions?
Yes, the beat was original. I made it myself, so.
Alrighty. So we got an original beat. So, did anyone attempt a mobile app? So we have, some teams are working on that, and it will be a part of it. And then, I'm sorry if I parse out what parts of your name are. Barack is asking, give me my money with the curse word would be a better name. That's actually kind of what the name, internally, I heard some people say some things that aren't professional, but we keep it professional here at Lambda, even when we're having fun with stuff. Okay, well, that, I believe, if I can count, we have seen Backwoods, Hair School, iShifter, Job Me, Pay Me, Property Management, Quilly, Randomizer, and Trivializer. So that is the end of our demo day for CS8. Thank you all for attending. I don't know about anyone else, but this is the biggest Zoom I've ever been on. This is great work. You should all be very proud of yourselves. I know I am very proud of you, and I've enjoyed working with you. I look forward to continuing to working with you to get these last couple of things polished up and these apps out the door. These are not little school projects. These are all applications that we are intending to go live with in the next week or two. So we'll send links out. We will keep you all in the know. So thank you, and thank you for joining. And I've got to go join the students in a little bit of a party. So have a good day, and I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.